So I kind of went on a nostalgic buying spree. As you can see, all these Drake radios. The bottom one is a Drake R4B. The middle one I picked up yesterday. This is a T4X, and this one has a sad story. I basically got it working, but I wrecked up the wafer switch in the back that does RF switching, so I got to deal with that. But it's otherwise ready to go. And this one is the T4XB that is probably the brat of the pack that I've had a lot of trouble getting it working at all. That one had troubles with shorted coax for the PTO. It had trouble with the switch for the sideband being out of whack. It had trouble with the sideband filter being loose. It had trouble with the second mixer tube having solder issues. I think there were loose connections in the PTO. It went on and on and on. But hey, at least the switch works. So now we have the patient on the table, and So I bought two TR4s. I bought one before and got it working. It took a while, but that one had some loose connections and things. This one worked out of the box. It pretty much worked fine. And so then I started cleaning it and cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it, and sure enough, I broke it. So I was in here mucking around, and anyway, when I turn this thing on, this resistor here in my hand, that's a 1.5K, and that thing smoked. That should basically say brown, green, red, and it's brown, green, brown, because it's smoked out and the red ones are brown. But anyway, looking at this thing, one consistency that Drake has, it seems like, at least in some of these, the wire with the red stripe seems to always be the 250 volt B+. So that's been a nice thing. Anyway, that resistor went from here to here, and then they fed some power from that circuit to this resistor here, and that of course crosses this can here. And the trouble with Drake is they do things in the air. So this capacitor is grounded at one end. The other end goes back to the can, and then a little white wire. It's like, oh, where does the white wire go? So I trace that out, and I find that it goes down into here. And yep, so you see the right wire there? It goes into a little capacitor thing. It looks like a resistor, but it's how they made capacitors way back when. So that little guy right there, that, I think when I was cleaning up this wafer switch, I was with a Q-tip getting all the gunk out of it and all the dirt. I think I bumped that thing, and that thing was actually touching the switch, and it was grounded. So that was the short. I'm like, oh my gosh. So Drake just, they put wires in the air like that. So there's a wire going to that thing, and it works as long as you don't bump this stuff. So when you get in here and clean these things, you really, really, really got to be careful. So on the other radio, the T4X, I broke a center pin on this thing. So I think I'm going to solder some braid onto the movable part and try and fix it that way, because you can't get these. And that radio is toast unless I could find that part. So I'm probably going to retrofit it. I was in the bathtub thinking about how am I going to fix it. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. Use some braided solder wick that's flexible, and then solder it onto the switch and onto the wire, and that might work. So anyway, that's that. So I'm going to drop a 1.5K back in this this Drake. This is a TR4. Drop a 1.5K in there, and I thought my 12BY7 was shorted. I was like, what the heck is going on? And so apparently it was just me mucking around cleaning this thing, and I shoved a part against the ground. So you got to be careful with these things. They're very delicate. Everything's like set in one place, and if you bump it, all hell breaks loose, and you might spend hours trying to find it. This didn't take long because it started smoking. So the resistor here was you could hear it making a sizzle noise, like bacon cooking, kind of a sizzle noise, and it was smoking a little bit. And I turned it off, and saw that it was this guy. And this is a typical B+ dropping resistor. So Drake does this all the time with 1.5s and 680 ohms and the other radios. So Hey, live and learn. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope your day is well. Have a great day. Stay safe.